This is lovely when I say that working with CorelDRAW is so amazing. And the interesting thing that I usually like to say is that nobody would ask you and say, "Oh, I need you to do a design for me." You start to say, "Oh, balance is," or you say, "repetition is," and you start to quote all the theories. Nobody wants to hear that. The real thing that people usually like to hear is, "I need this," and you say, "Alright, done," and you can eventually deliver on your set goals or set objective or whatever you said that you were going to do. So that's the most important thing. So coming into this software, the next thing after learning the fundamentals in terms of the essentials, you don't need to know too much. You just need to know, okay, these are the ingredients and these are the guidelines to follow when deploying on these ingredients. That's essential for what you have to know. Any other thing that you want to know is just a follow-up process in the course of your learning. It's just a follow-up process to what you're doing. Okay, so with that said, I want to welcome you to CorelDRAW Essentials training as well. I'd like to title it that way. Welcome you to CorelDRAW Essentials training. So what I'm going to do is to break it down and show you parts and pieces to it. Now, the reason why I'm starting with CorelDRAW is that CorelDRAW is very, very simple. Okay, for you to understand, for you to follow through the process. Unlike when you want to go to Illustrator or Photoshop, sometimes the interfaces can be very overwhelming. Don't get me wrong, even the experts and the developers that build these softwares, they actually say so. I'm actually quoting them. Alright, that is what they said, that sometimes looking over these softwares can be so overwhelming. And as such, what they do is that they themselves, they tell you that even with their numerous years of experience, they have not even been able to scratch, to the extent, they are not even be able to scratch the surface of what it is that these softwares can actually do. You hear that? So the thing is, what I'm going to show you is that you are the creator. This is just your tool. So it's a form of garbage in, garbage out. I want you to liberate yourself from softwares, but think more in terms of creativity process. And sometimes, essentially, people that are very good in design usually hold very dearly their power of sketching. That is very, very important. But to just take you and to teach you through the foundation so that you can be able to deliver on the skills and actually own the skills and know how it works, I felt it necessary to show you CorelDRAW. Now, this is the order of priority. Sometimes you can use Sketch, especially all those softwares that are really, really simple, just to help you to know how to combine elements, how to make simple compositions. And when you're done, you can now move to Photoshop and then move to Illustrator. That's the simple foundation. I don't know if you ask some experts, that's exactly what they'll tell you. That's the advice they might likely give. So with that said, we want to focus on the design aspect, and we want to focus on the CorelDRAW software as a whole, where I'm going to break down into very simple things how you can use this software and easily create amazing graphics that works on the scratch. Now, this is my CorelDRAW interface. As you can see, what you see right here is the home screen. Okay, what you see right here is actually the home screen, where it shows you, okay, get started and all this information. It talks about the new document, quickly create new document, or quickly start a design from existing template. Over here you also have open recent files. Over here you have recent files. As you can see, some of the designs that I've done, it's really, really showcased right here. And some of the design that I've done with this tool is just right here. As you can see, they're all previewed there for you to see. On the other aspects of it, because we want to really go into the nitty-gritty of it, the other aspects of it is that you could go ahead and explore some of these options. Okay, as you can see, this is the workspace where you can change the workspace to suit whatever. You can see illustration and stuff like that. Now, the workspace aspect of it just gives you quick tools that you can work with to suit what it is that you want to do. But if you're working with just the default or the light, that means the default will actually show you things that will enable you to do basic designs. Okay, maybe if you want to focus on, okay, let's say you want to focus on the photography, okay, it will actually give you tools to enhance retouching and to enhance that kind of photographic compositing. All right, so that's what workspace actually means. What ready tools or what handy tools are you looking for? And all these other ones here are just support services, so we don't want to focus on that. So we'll just come back to get started, and this is where I'll actually share with you some important things on how to make progress with the software. So from here I can also close this, and if I wanted to pull out, I could click on that again and it will come out. So with that said, let's really go into the basics. Now, in getting started, what I want to do is to start with a new document, and by starting with a new document, I could either come here and click on new document, or I could click on Control N. Control N for any software is new document. Okay, so if you're using Mac, it could give you Command N, but if you're using Windows, it could give you Control N, or Command N will give you new, depending on whichever operating system they're using. And you can see that when you create new, that's a new document, a new workspace that you want to work with. And guess what? On CorelDRAW, it's called Workspace, and on Photoshop, it's called Canva, and on Illustrator it's called Artboard. So don't forget about that. I just had to tip that in so you could understand. Now, this is where you do your settings as to the paper size, as to the document size, as to the document area, so that your design can follow a constrained pattern, so that it can be easy for you to print. For example, if you say, okay, if you design something that is as large as maybe your entire building or your entire landmass, where would you see that kind of machine that's going to print that? Okay, and you just wanted something to maybe for a document for a magazine, and you, or for a brochure, and you already had designed something to conquer such an amount of space. Now, don't get me twisted. Now, these softwares, the interfaces in these softwares could actually deceive you. So that is why you have to stick with measurements. So if you have a tape, you could go ahead and measure it with your tape or your ruler and put in the dimensions here, and you'll be able to get started. But other than that, you have some standard sizes that already exist in this design. I mean, standard sizes that already exist in these softwares. You can see business card, you can see A5, or all those kind of things. So if you're confused and you want to work, you can always come here and choose a standard size that best suits what you want to do. Okay, so that's exactly what it is. So every other thing, I'd like to pause for now and just show you the most important thing so you could get started, because that's the most important thing. The most important thing is for you to get started. As you do it, you begin to gather momentum. If I overwhelm you too much, it's going to bore you and you will not want to continue. So my goal as a teacher is to inspire you to learn. So if you can do simple things, that will interest you to do more. Now, someone said that the easiest way to teach you a keyboard is to teach you how to play a song first. From there, it will ignite your spirit, it will ignite your interest, and then you'll be able to follow through to learning all the fundamentals and be on your way to mastery. Alright, so with that said, we want to look at just getting started and moving forward. So the first thing I want to show you is the name of the document. You can give your document a name. For now, this document is actually showing untitled document because you don't have any name. So by default, when you start, it shows you untitled document. So with this said, I could come here and just quickly create my classwork and say, okay, maybe classwork 1. I start with classwork 1, and that's the easiest way I might want to do that. I can say start with classwork 1, and I'll keep my paper size, choose my paper size to A4, and then for the standard sizes in the unit of measurement, I could change the unit of measurement to either inches or pixels, but I like to keep it in centimeters or inches as well. So you can see that the A4 standard size of A4 is about 8.11.5. right? So that's just it, and I maintain either horizontal or vertical orientation. That's horizontal or vertical orientation. Number of pages, I like to stick with 1 page, and then I like to change this primary color mode. And then I would like to talk about this primary color mode. Now, if you're designing for screen, you always leave it at RGB. If not, if you're designing for print, I highly recommend you change it to CMYK. Now I'm going to show you a lot of things as we get into design so you can understand what it is that we do, but that's the basic stuff, because CMYK allows your printing, your machine, the printing machine is designed in such a way that it's supposed to accommodate a lot of colors, and that's the technology that is built into the software, where it accommodates more range of colors than the RGB. While the RGB would actually focus on making it more intense, since it doesn't really accommodate much. You can be able to spot colors for what they are. But the reason why people use CMYK is because CMYK actually accommodates more colors than the RGB in a sense. But since we're doing for screen sizes, I'll just like to start with RGB so that we could follow through and understand what it is. Any other thing is really not important to you other than this DPI, this resolution. Now the resolution stands for, DPI stands for dots per inch, which talks about like the more dots you have, the more image quality. Now in your support kit, I had actually added this explanation of what resolution is, but normal standard resolution, I like to keep it to 300 at all times so that my image can always come out with high resolution, might always come out very, very clear and sharp. So I'll just go ahead and click on OK. So our document starts. So this is the document. Now on opening this document, if you've done this, I want to really congratulate you. You've gone a far way. Now what I want to do is that I just want to explain what the interface looks like for you so you understand. Like I said, on CorelDRAW, this area right here is called the workspace, and inside here is called the printable area. So anything outside here will not print. So you always want to design inside this area, and this is the area that whether you're publishing to PDF or whatever, but this is the area that your printing would capture, or the printing machine will capture. When you're exporting it for print, this is the area that the machine will capture. Anything outside here might likely cut, or you might lose your details on your document. So in the course of us designing, you will see how we get to design these things and constrain things to proportion so that they can feel geometric, so that they can feel uniform in a certain way. So the first thing I'd like to show you, it's called the menu items. Now I want you to see this menu like maybe you have a magazine or you have your textbooks. What menu or table contents does is to allow you to ease of access to access basic information in your magazine, or basic information maybe on a website or something. So what this menu does here is allows you for ease of navigation across the software. So everything that you're seeing here is already inside these menus. Okay, so what I want to show you right now is just the first two. Now this first file here, it offers an interaction. Like I said, what menu does is it gives you ease of access across the ease of navigation across the softwares, and ease of navigation across the softwares, and they provide that ease of navigation and ease of interaction across the softwares. Now for this file, the first menu here, which is the file, offers you interaction between the software and your local computer. For example, you can see open here, open, bring out files from a local computer. You can see things like import, export, and those kind of things. It offers you those kind of options, and then you can always do a lot of things with it, but that's just the basic way. Then for the rest of these ones, it offers you interactions between, it offers you navigation and ease of interaction within the software environment itself. The help menu and the purchase menu are just there to add support services, so that if you have issues, you can actually reach out to the developers and they can also try to help you. This other bar is called the quick options bar. This options bar, they allow you to quickly customize the workspace, the look and feel of this your design interface, or where the look and feel of your workspace, so that you can actually know what it is that you're doing. So if I turn on one of these things here, you see what it looks like. So it actually helps you to customize the interface to suit what it is that you want to do, and that is just what is here. So this is just the options bar, but for this one, when nothing is really selected, it allows you to customize the document. It allows you to actually change the size here, and then you can also change maybe the dimensions or the units of what the paper size that you were working with. With that said, I'd like to focus on another thing. This is where you have your document. Okay, your document is open. If you have a lot of documents, it's going to be opened here around this document tab section. On this other column, you have the toolbar. This is where you have the toolbar, and this is where you have your color palette. This to this other side is where you have your color palette. All right, over here you have the status bar, and every other thing that tells you, okay, what document you're working on and all those other information that you're working with. Then support, we have some support panels. I'll show you how to bring in the support panels. Now, if I come to this window and maybe I come here to workspace and I click on light, you see that it's gonna really release me of some of these panels and docs that I have here. As you can see, these are just the foundational docs that we have, and you can see these are just the foundational tools that we have. And with this, I can easily show you just everything with regard what you have to know on CorelDRAW Foundations, alright, which will help you to do amazing things. With that said, I'm going to be showing you on the next video how to use a tool, what their functions are, and how to interact with them effectively to create designs that actually work. So I'd like to see you in the next video.